Hello, everyone. Shannon at IXACT Contact here. Thank you so much for joining us for our webinar today. We're going to talk about crushing your fall sales targets with the help of CRM and marketing automation. As I just said, my name is Shannon. I'm the sales director here with IXACT Contact. I'll pop up contact information again for how to reach us towards the end of the webinar. Best email for us is our info@ixactcontact.com. That gets to not only myself, but also the rest of the sales team. So you'll get a quick response there. Now, I do have Julio and Sean on the line with us today. They will be answering your questions throughout the webinar. Encourage you to pop them into that Q&A box over to the side there. I will be doing a full system tour. So if there's something that I perhaps haven't gotten to yet, give it a minute, and you can always ask your questions as I get to those items, because I will be doing the full system tour. Just have sort of a step-by-step process to go through that. If you've got questions, though, throw them into that Q&A box. Feel free to pop a question in there right now, or just say hello, and that way Sean and Julia will know you're there and can start answering your questions quickly and actively. So I'm going to jump right in. There's a lot to cover. It's a pretty broad system, but what we want to get into really is that things are going to get busy, and we're still in that sort of funny time period. 2020 has been a strange year in general, not just in real estate, but it has definitely sort of changed the real estate landscape over the past few months. And when things were a little slower in the spring, everybody was kind of sitting down and really looking at their CRM and at their technology and how to make their communication better with their contacts, with their prospects, with their past clients, with their leads. And that part hasn't changed, right? But we're about to get really busy. The fall market's always booming, and in the stats and the predictions are not changing that for this year, right? We're also, and I'm sure you're all sort of looking at the fall market going, yeah, this is going to be awesome. If anything, the stuff that was delayed earlier in the spring is cropping up even more so now. So are you ready? Are you ready for a busy fall market? Now, are you ready now? Were you ready last year? Were you ready the year before that when the fall market got busy? And that's what we're going to talk about today is what you can do now to be set up for success when things do get busy. And then it's not just about being set up for success when things are busy, that will continue on. So we're going to systematize certain parts of your business so that you're doing it better. And we want you to be set up for that success on an ongoing basis. And we feel it really starts with CRM, with customer relationship management, with how you follow up, with how you organize your contacts, how you organize and automate your communication and your marketing and make it easy for people to remember you. And of course, because we're in a webinar, I have a special offer for you towards the end of the presentation today, so stick around for that. I always just want to recap what exactly a real estate CRM is. And I'm going to go back one step to just what CRM is. A CRM is a customer relationship management system. It's designed to help you organize your business, manage day-to-day tasks, appointments, follow-ups, and keep in touch over time with your contact list in a more systematic way, right? And that, of course, then just frees you up to do what you do best. Talk to people. Most of us get into real estate because we're people. We like the money too, doesn't hurt, but we like people. And being able to talk to people, we need to free up more time so that you have time to do that. A real estate CRM is a contact relationship management system that's designed specifically for realtors. And it includes things like active business, so you can track your listings and your buyers and your closings and all of that day-to-day transactional side of your business. It includes drip marketing plans that will nurture different types of buyers and sellers. And we've written numerous different campaigns for you, and we'll get to those when we get into the system. There's also a whole library of pre-written email and letter templates. So great topics, again, just always positioning you as an expert in all things real estate and home ownership. And then, of course, a professionally written monthly e-newsletter that goes, right alongside your communication with, people face-to-face, your communication with people over Zoom, however you're doing your meetings and appointments and follow-ups now. The e-newsletter just makes sure nobody ever falls through the cracks. It makes sure that someone is, your contact database is always getting a communication from you that's relevant, that's informational and valuable. And then of course we include a website so that you can build your online presence and help you capture leads. And they're beautiful sites. We actually just, if you've seen the IXACT Contact websites at all in the past, we relaunched new designs earlier this year, I think mid-March approximately. So some new things to show you today as well if you've attended our webinars in the past. Real estate CRM has been shown to be a tool of top agents. And I'm referring here to the Rich Agent, Poor Agent study done by Active Rain. And it showed that using a real estate CRM was found to be key to the success of top performing agents. And things like email marketing, e-newsletter was also integral to that success. And what the study came down to, in rich agents, it was a salary divide, right? You know, people that were making X amount over and X amount under. But the agents that were making over are twice as likely as poor agents to be using a real estate CRM. And the reasons that it helps, the reasons that they're better performing agents, is they can take on more, right? They can do more listings, they can talk to more people because they have a system helping them stay organized and stay top of mind. So that's really what IXACT Contact is designed to do. It is specifically a real estate CRM. There's no other version of IXACT Contact. It's all real estate CRM all the time. There's more in there, things like our website, our social stream platform, social media posting, and we'll talk to those as we get through the presentation today. And we do it at an amazing low price. Our support's the best in the industry. You know, and that's not just us tooting our own horn. They really are a fabulous support team, and they're continually bettering themselves and supporting our customers in a way that make the system easy to use and easy to follow. What sets IXACT Contact apart is partly the automation, partly the marketing pieces included in the system. So things like our Keep in Touch coach. The Keep in Touch coach will show you, it sits at the top of your dashboard. It's right there in your face every time you log in, and it automatically tells you who to follow up with at the right time. We include marketing pieces like a monthly e-newsletter that has brand new content every month. It's not just a template, it actually has brand new content pre-written for you every month. You can customize it as much or as little as you want to. The system includes the ability to set goals and track your performance towards those goals. You can capture your leads from virtually any source and then manage them in the system. And there's some automation to that. We do have autoresponders and the ability for those leads to be automatically starting to receive things like your e-newsletter. So, you know, with very little admin on your end, you can set that up and the system will drive it going forward. Email campaign reporting, of course, lets you see who's actually interacting with your emails. And I'll talk to how, you know, what we can do with that information as we get into the program. And we have a unique setup process. We call it our concierge setup service. Now, there is sort of a do-it-yourself setup wizard, which is a great step-by-step walkthrough of what needs to be set up initially in the system to get the key functions working for you. And you can do that yourself. You can do it with a member of our support team. The concierge setup service is designed to walk you through getting your account set up and working for you so you start seeing business value long before the end of your free setup period. And then of course we have a mobile app, we sync with Google. Virtually wherever your contacts are today, we will find an easy, seamless way to get them into the system. And then we also include things like our mobile friendly IDX enabled websites and automated social media marketing via social stream. So lots to get through today, lots of different features. You know, above all, what we want to do is get the system working for your business so that, again, you're set up to just crush any of these goals that you're setting up for yourself, right? So you can actually set up goals right now. Log in today, set up goals, and make your start date today and go forward from there for the rest of the year. And you'll just be set up to have that personal accountability and this nice visual reporting to show you exactly how you're doing as things do get busy. The system, first and foremost, is going to get you organized. So if you're someone that's got your contacts all over the place, or if you've got your contacts in another system and you're not using it well, maybe it's the back end of your website, maybe it's, you know, just another CRM platform and, you know, you don't use it well enough, I encourage you to consider trying IXACT Contact because the system does do so much for you. It is designed to work for your business. And that's why I've phrased our question here, how does Exact Contact help my business? Because it's not just about you working the system. The system really is meant to help you and work for your business. So we're going to jump right in, show you all the ways that Exact Contact will help your business, help you stay better organized, be able to take on more going into this busy fall market and the remainder of the year, right? I think we're all kind of trying to make up for some lost time with just this sort of all over the place, sideways 2020 year and continually changing and challenging market. So I'm going to jump in to the system, and of course, as I just mentioned, the first thing we want to get you to do is organize and manage your contact data better. And if you've got it in a spreadsheet, fabulous. We can upload that to the system for you. If all of your contacts are in your phone, we'll get them out of wherever they are now into a spreadsheet file, and we'll get them loaded to the system. If they're in Google, we can sync with Google. So all kinds of ways to get your contacts into the system. And even if they're in, your contacts could be in some kind of, I think I'm gonna have to log back in here. So while I'm chatting, I'll do that. Your contacts could be in some sort of organized fashion, right? If they're in your contact list, at least you have them in one place. Now, if you've got some in your contact list and some in your email and some on a notepad, it will better your business to get them all into one place. And once your contacts are into Exact, you'll see them here down this sort of e-Rolodex within the system. And I'm just going to pop into a contact record and show you just how much information you can keep on any particular contact. Now, keep in mind, this is a demo database. So this is not just, this is not just your average contact. This is like a flagship contact. It's got everything we could possibly know about Andrew and Jessica Adams in here. You don't have to know all of this detail about a contact to enter them into your CRM. You can know their first name, their phone number, and their email address. So great ways to just start following up with people and getting them organized in one place. So contact records in Exact are meant to be household contact records. So you've got the main contact and their contact information, perhaps their spouse or partner and their contact information. If you have it, it will automatically insert the salutation just based on first and first name. You can edit this. So you'll notice that this is Andrew Adams, and the agent has edited it to be Andy, right? So it's just however that person would normally be greeted. You can keep track of someone's home address. And of course, if they were a past buyer of yours, or you simply know the move-in date for the property they're currently living in because they were the buyer when you were representing the seller, you know their move-in date. And it's a great way to follow up. I'll get to that in a moment. Great dates to follow up on. You can keep track of their work details if it's relevant. If this is someone that you work with regularly, you can actually tag them and put them into your business directory. So you might have, home stagers and mortgage agents and title agents and lawyers, etc., that you can put into your business directory. You can also create a short list of frequently used listing related parties. Now that's a bit of a mouthful. What we're referring to is you'll see this more when we get into the active business area of the system, is if I were to have a listing, I'm bound to be communicating with other people within the industry, right? Not just the home buyer and seller, but as I just suggested, maybe it's a landscaper, maybe it's a mortgage agent, maybe it's an electrician because there's some work to be done on the house. Maybe it's the stager, maybe it's other agents that are helping you market this property. You can put them into a frequently used listing related parties list and then easily tag them as you enter your listings. So the system's just making those short lists that make it a lot easier for you. And then some of the key features, so if you don't know any of this information, totally fine. If you know the person's name, phone number, email address, maybe their home address, if it's a lead, that's something that you're going to want to try to get at least. But the key features within the system, a lot of them are driven by things like the contact status, the contact groups, the original source of contact. These are all, you have the ability to be searched and filtered on. So if you put someone into a contact status, those correspond back to your business pipeline. And so there are things like hot prospects, current clients, right? Just all kinds of different whether they're new unqualified leads all the way through your pipeline. You can track them, they're searchable, and this drives the automated reminders for when you should be following up. So the system can actually tell you when to follow up, making sure nobody ever falls through the cracks. Contact groups get you, of course, sort of narrowing down, and people can belong to multiple contact groups. So maybe it's just your the old 80-20 rule, right? Your A list is 20% of your database, and that's going to drive 80% of your business over the course of your career. So maybe we do A list and B list. Maybe they're your university alumni, right? If you're a newer agent just getting started in the business, and it's always that sort of adage of, oh, I'm new to the business, and whether it's whether you've had another career previously, or whether you're literally like you're starting your career and this is the career you've decided on for yourself, people, and it's wise to start there, right? We know that our friends and family can only take us so far, right? They'll recommend us, they like us, but you also have to then sort of expand beyond that, and knowing just people is what will help expand your network, expand your sphere, right? Not everyone is going to do business with you, but if they remember and recognize that you're in real estate, their sphere, and then those people's sphere, right? You're just always expanding that reach. So contact groups, great way to sort of narrow that down. I've also seen agents use it as like farm areas, neighborhoods that they're targeting. So great ways to just utilize that contact group field. And then of course, the original source of contact. This could be anything. It could be Zillow, it could be your website, could be referral. And when it is a referral, you have the ability to choose the contact that actually referred this person to you. So again, just very detailed search functionality, very detailed contact categorization. So a lot of systems will have sort of the first level, and that's where it stops, whereas IXACT allows you to filter and search based on any of these criteria. And just finishing up the contact profile here before I get into how that search works and where some of those things work in the system. You can keep track of personal details, birthdays, wedding anniversaries, gender, if you feel it's relevant. Religion's a good one, like if you're sending holiday greeting cards, right? It's meant to be able so that you can say, well, if I'm sending a holiday greeting card, at this time of year, I want to be able to send it just to the people that's appropriate to send to. So that's a great way to utilize those different fields. You can add other household members. So if they have kids or Uncle Bob who lives in the ensuite, you can add those in. And then pets, hobbies, special interest notes. This is like a free form note. And this would be information that's relevant. Maybe that Andrew's favorite hockey team is the Vancouver Canucks. Pardon my Canadian reference here, but we are in Canada. Maybe it's a baseball team. Maybe it's their favorite vacation spot. Anything that's a good conversation starter or something that of interest about this particular party just makes it easier for you to start that conversation. One of the number one reasons salespeople, it's not just a real estate person problem, it's a salesperson problem. One of the number one reasons salespeople are reluctant to pick up the phone is because they are sort of thinking about, well, how do I start the conversation, right? And sort of secondary to that is it's been a while since you called. So having a conversation starter, something you remember about this person, can be very helpful in that respect. So contact profile, very detailed. Other tabs in here, you'll notice there's an activities and history tab. This would be the ongoing communication, right? Phone calls, text messages, letters, emails, any communication with this contact is logged to the contact history. Does that automatically. All you have to do is say, enter note or prospecting update. If you're sending an email, the system automatically logs it if you're sending a mass email within the system. Properties allows you to keep track of the actual property information for this contact. So it could be properties they've once owned, currently owned. If they're a buyer, you can put in their buying preferences, and that's what transfers them, of course, over into your active business area. And I'll get further into that in a moment. If they're in your business directory, you can tag it. You also have the ability to attach documents. So it could be contracts or deeds, relevant information, documents that you've had this person sign off on. You can actually attach it to their profile right in your CRM. So making it very seamless to utilize that. The first thing I'm going to show you, just in relation to the organization of the contact groups and the use of those, you'll notice when I clicked on, let me go back here, when I clicked on this search button, this little contact search thing popped up. This is our advanced search. And the advanced search lets you filter by numerous different criteria. The advantage here is if I want to communicate with just a certain subset of my list, I can pull up just that list. So maybe I just want my A list, right? You could do your A list that are hot prospects, any combination of these filters. Maybe it's different date criteria. When were they added to my list? Maybe I want to search for all of my open house contacts that were added since last Saturday's open house, right? So great ways for you to just follow up appropriately on your communication with the people that are in your database. I just want to send something to my A list. I'm going to click search. It's going to give me these 28 people. And now they're in what we call list view. This list view in the middle, not to be confused with the eRolodex down the right-hand side here, now allows you to work en masse with your list. So again, if you had a hot listing or you just want to send out a communication and just sort of touch that, that A list, these would be the influential people in your list, right? These aren't necessarily current clients. Maybe they're past clients. Maybe they're just influencers within your sphere, people that have a large network and like you, and they talk to people all the time. They're great to just keep reminding of what's going on in the market. Maybe you've got a market update and you just want to send it to these 28 people. I can check off one or more or all, and then utilize the mass action to say, send a mass email. Maybe I want to assign them to a drip campaign. So this is like the Swiss Army knife where I can choose an entire group or part of a group and then work with them all at the same time. So rather than having to go contact by contact, assign the newsletter and such, you have the ability to just send out an email, send out an activity plan. You can even export this list. So if you wanted to send something in the mail and you needed the mailing addresses, there's an easy way to just export this list. So great search functionality, all ties back to items, making sure they're categorized into the appropriate business pipeline status, making sure that your contacts have a group, and that just helps you narrow and search and filter and take advantage of that functionality when you're working within the CRM. And when I say working within the CRM, I mean when you need to, right? So if you need to send an email, if you want to send a mass text, if you want to attach everybody to a drip campaign when you first get started, it's a lot easier to do that if you can pull up the appropriate subsets of your list. The other place that categorization comes into play is with the Keep in Touch coach. And I've gone back to our dashboard here. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, the Keep in Touch coach lives at the top of your dashboard. It's always here, it's always visible. And what it does is it uses your business pipeline statuses. If I pop into the settings, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Uses those business pipeline statuses, and you can assign a frequency for how often you want to be reminded. We give you a set of frequency of reminders to get started, and then you can adjust these to your business. So we've sort of said, hot prospects, I want to be reminded every 7 days. The difference here is that, for instance, if you were to put a reminder for a contact into your calendar on Tuesday, right, and set it recurring for every week, you're going to get a reminder every Tuesday. But what happens to that reminder if you talk to the person on Thursday or Saturday or Monday, right? And you log that you talk to them, but it just stays in your calendar, right? There's sort of a disconnect between your note and the actual calendar item. What the Keep in Touch coach does is it takes that into account. What it does is when you say log a prospecting update right here, prospecting update, if I were to log this, phone call, whatever it is, pop by, handwritten note, you can change those activity types. I'm going to log my note, and what the system will do is automatically reschedule my next follow-up reminder for 7 days from today, 7 days from when the note is logged. For long-term prospects, maybe it's 60 days, 90 days, whatever makes sense for your business, but it's no longer a static reminder that gets kind of lost in your calendar. It's this dashboard reminder that is intuitive and reflects your last follow-up, your last communication with your contacts. So very, very important to get that, at the very base level, at least your status assigned to your contacts, so that things like the Keep in Touch coach can start working for you and making sure that nobody's slipping through the cracks over time. And the contacts will always be sorted by, when they're due. If they're overdue, they're going to show up first. So as you can see, our demo database here is a little out of date, but we'll get it caught up at some point. But again, just it's keeping everybody top of mind and keeping you top of mind with your database because you're continually following up on a regular basis. So, especially with hot prospects, but it's also key to follow up with long-term prospects, right? As salespeople, we all tend to be very focused on what's right in front of us. It's easy to do that, right? We know, if this person says they're ready to buy a home, they're looking this fall, and they're ready to start looking now, and they want to be in that new home before the new year. Great, I know what to do with that person. Let's get started. Here you go, Mr. Buyer. This is what we need to do next, right? Or they're ready, vice versa. They're ready to list their home. They know what to do right now, right? You know what to tell them to do. The prospects that say, well, yeah, I'm just looking right now. I want to see what the market's like. And it's maybe time to list, but I'm not sure it's the right time to list. And we're probably looking at, realistically maybe next fall. And as realtors, you say to the lead, oh, okay, great. Well, I'll keep in touch with you. But then we have to actually do it, right? We have to follow through. And having things like a keep in touch coach that reminds you to touch that person every 90 days and just say, hey, here's what's new in the market. Or to send them a newsletter every month and say, hey, here's some information about owning a home or listing your home or whatever the newsletter information is that particular month. You're just continually communicating and making sure that you're the person they think of when they think of realtor. So I'm going to move to my next little item in my PowerPoint slide here. We've talked about storing your database, customizing your groups and getting those search capabilities working for you, targeting specific segments of your database, even setting an automated follow-up reminder with the Keep in Touch coach. And as you're doing that, you're going to start building stronger relationships. And there's a couple functions of IXACT Contact that can help you do that. And they're automated. So with very little setup, you can have automatic birthday and move-in anniversary follow-ups going out to your prospects, clients, past clients. So if I'm to look at what that looks like in the system, it's here under Keep in Touch, and I'm looking at the birthday and move-in anniversary reminders. Birthdays are great. Everybody likes being wished a happy birthday. People remember their own birthday. It's a warm, fuzzy feeling when somebody reaches out and says happy birthday. Move-in anniversaries, I would argue, are even more powerful for you as realtors to follow up on. Someone's move-in anniversary is, quite frankly, probably a date they've forgotten, right? They didn't forget their own birthday, and they may remember that it was really hot and they didn't enjoy moving. It was July, but do they remember that it was the 7th? So it's a key date to be able to follow up with your past clients on. I've also heard agents, say, well, I sold a property and I have the buyer's contact info, so I'm going to follow up with them on their move-in date of the house they bought that I helped sell. And why would you do that? Well, probably because the agent that was the selling agent, or sorry, the buyer agent, isn't necessarily doing it. And you're just keeping yourself top of mind with everyone within that network, so that when someone thinks real estate, they think of you, and it's a nice way to follow up. So move-in anniversary reminder, you're seeing a lot of check boxes here. I'm just telling the system, put it in my calendar, send me a reminder the day of, 0 days before. I can put a task in my task list. And this would be if you want a reminder ahead of time, because you may want to go and actually put a card in the mail, do a little bit more personal follow-up, make a phone call. This is giving you that advance notice. You can send yourself a reminder at, again, day of the task, and whatever time of day you choose. Automatically assigning contacts with a move-in date to the event means contacts in my list right now that have a move-in date under that home address, like we saw in Andrew Adams. It also means that anyone you add a move-in date to in the future will automatically get assigned to this reminder. So you don't have to create a recurring calendar event. The system will do it for you and send you the reminder appropriately. You can even have an email greeting card automatically going out on that key date. And we've created a number of different templates. Choose the one that you like, and the system will do the rest. So even if they're just getting a nice little email from you, it's a date that they've probably forgotten about, and it's a nice way to reconnect. Exact same set of settings applies for birthdays. You would just obviously choose a birthday greeting, and the system knows whether it's the main contact or the spouse, and adjusts the the greeting appropriately. So it's always going to send the appropriate greeting to the appropriate person on the appropriate date for that person's birthday. So nice ways to touch base, nice ways to follow up, nice ways to build a more personal connection with your clients. And that can be so challenging with so much going on. And the whole purpose of this is just, again, to set you up so that you're successful, or even more successful, than you anticipated to be. And you can be, because you have a system in place that's driving these items for you. You're not having to do it for yourself. We also want to be able to personalize some email marketing. And again, we can automate some of this email marketing. We include, as I mentioned earlier, a monthly email newsletter. We write it for you every single month. There are also 9 fully written drip email campaigns. All of the content provided within IXACT Contact is customizable, and it's personalized because it goes out with your header, your signature, and people can reply back directly to you. But again, it's you're not having to write the content. Most of us as salespeople are not also writers. Some of you are. You do a lot of blogging and coming up with your own content, but most of us are not. And it's much easier to have content already created for you. And what that looks like in IXACT Contact is something like this. This is our e-newsletter, and it would have your branding at the top. This is our standard email header. All you have to do is upload your photo, your logo. You can change this background color so that it matches your brand. And then the system, just generates that for you on top of every email that you're sending out. The monthly e-newsletter has sort of some key pieces here. Of course, your branding, the greeting for the person or couple it's being sent to, and then a personal message followed by your signature. However you save this into the system. Again, it will just auto-populate. You don't have to write it every time. And then 3 articles. And the articles are articles of interest for anyone who is a homeowner or is thinking about becoming a homeowner, and it's positioning you as an expert on the subject of not just real estate and buying and selling property, but home ownership. So there's 3 well-written articles positioning you as an expert. What you do in IXACT is you tell the system, and again, this is going to look like a lot of settings, but you tell the system, yes, I want it to go out every month on whatever day of the month that might be. Send me a reminder 5 days before the send out date because I want to preview and make any customizations. And you assign your contact list. You can also check off these little boxes and have the system automatically assign anybody who gets entered to your list to receive your next monthly e-newsletter. So again, taking away those administrative pieces. All you have to do is make sure the contacts get entered. And again, those could be captured from your website. They could be captured from Zillow, from your online advertising, from landing pages, from syncing with your phone. Wherever the contacts are coming from, you can have them automatically start to receive your next monthly email newsletter. And each month, it's brand new content. We update it every single month. Just popped into mass email here under the monthly e-newsletter. Notice this is August. Tomorrow, actually, the September issue will be loaded into all of our customer accounts. So you actually guys are right on track with getting this out for September if you were to get started right away. The e-newsletter is uploaded on the 26th of every month for the coming month. This gives you time so that even if you're sending it the first day of the month, you will still have time to customize and edit the e-newsletter before it sends out. So you can see here, you can customize that personal message, customize the articles. When you're customizing the articles, you have the option to edit the existing copy. So even though this is professionally written, you can actually change it, make it your own, maybe add a link to it, right? Maybe if you've seen another article locally, then you sort of recommend a stager, or you've got something like this about this on your website, you could link it there. You can exclude the article if you think, nah, I don't want to talk about that. And you can also add an article. And the article gives you the same formatting as the other articles within the e-newsletter. This is a mobile-friendly format, meaning that this image will pop in between the 2 blocks of text. They'll stack on top of each other so that it's easily read on a mobile device, so your cell phone with that much narrower screen. And you can enter whatever information you want here. So if you're getting market stats, if you just want to highlight a listing, or perhaps a community event, things that are going on locally, it's a great opportunity to add in that personal article. And there's no limit to the number of articles. You can add as many as you'd like. You can also exclude some if you feel like it's getting too long. and just really customize this. So again, you don't have to. It can be a set it and forget it. Most of our customers do exactly that. They'll set it and forget it. They set it up so that it's ready to go out, does it automatically every month, and the system drives it for them. But you do have the ability to make that customization before the newsletter is being sent. And it's just, again, a great way to communicate over time. And if you start doing this now, as you know, people will start seeing that subject line over time. If you start, let's say, for September is your first e-newsletter issue, and then October and then November, you're just always popping up in your contacts inbox and allowing them to read this great, valuable information. They don't necessarily, want to buy or sell right now, but if you're continually feeding people information, it sets you up for success down the road. It helps you communicate with past clients so that they're continually reminded that you're still in real estate, and should they have a referral or should they have another home buying or selling need in the future, they'll think of you first. So that's the e-newsletter. And before I get into campaign reporting, I do want to talk about just the other email marketing pieces within the system. I mentioned that there are email drip campaigns. We call them marketing plans. Under activity plans, there are 9 fully written campaigns. And these are campaigns that, again, are designed for specific types of buyer and seller, prospect, client, past client. So the plan I've opened here is a 2-year-long campaign specifically for a first-time buyer that's currently renting. And this is a plan that will automatically email this contact information that's relevant to their current situation. So the first email, of course, is just a follow-up, but then you've also got, what kind of mortgage can you get? You probably have a lot of questions. Don't let the process scare you. Do these sound like things that a first-time buyer might be thinking of? And you're just going to start just touching them with that little bit of information. Notice it's a 2-year-long plan, right? And statistics show that most people, especially these that you're getting through like online sources, they're looking, but they're not necessarily ready right now, right? People have sort of that like almost like 24 to 36 month cycle that they go through. They start looking and they think, well, maybe I want to live in this neighborhood, and they go, oh my God, I can't afford that neighborhood. They have to sort of think about it. There's a process to it. And if you continue to feed those people the right information over time, you will be the realtor that they think of down the road. There are also short campaigns. So especially right now where things are about to ramp up quickly, there's these quick little, high touch buyer, seller prospecting plans. You can tighten these up even more. So we've scheduled them out where they're about, every couple weeks, every 3 weeks, but you could tighten this up to every week, right? If you know that there's someone that's actively looking to buy or sell, you could tighten up the campaign and have them just have that much more active touch. We've even built phone call reminders into these. So there's a ton of content ready to go. There are email greeting cards for virtually every major holiday across the year. So you've always got, your move-in anniversary greeting cards. You've got greeting cards for major holidays, just different variations of especially the December holiday. So great ways to keep in touch and follow up with content that's already provided to you. So very, very nice ways to keep in touch and follow up. So, professionally written, customizable content. It's already done for you. We're not trying to make things difficult for you. We're going to make it as easy as possible. And when you have those marketing pieces already done for you, it makes it, again, just easy for you to stay on track with what you're doing day to day and be confident that the system is working in the background for you from the marketing standpoint. And that's just going to help you, of course, maximize the number of leads you convert. And we talked about getting your contacts, your current database into the system. And we also want to be able to get your leads into the system going forward. So I've mentioned it a couple of times just as we're talking today, but being able to get your leads automatically into the system from your website, from Zillow, from social media advertising, from landing pages, wherever you have a contact form, those leads can be automatically captured into your CRM. You automatically receive an alert letting you know that you have a new lead. And I'm just going to show you where that is. It's in the user profile here under lead capture. Have your leads automatically fed right into the database. And if you need help with it, our support team is here to help. But here's your new lead settings. Send me an email every time I get a new lead entered into the system. You can also turn on a text message notification for each new lead. There's no charge for that. You're just turning it on, so you're getting that notification that much faster, right on at your fingertips as a text message. You can also choose to have, if the form is just a general form coming from your website, you can have the original source be website. You can automatically assign a drip nurture campaign. And as we saw a moment ago in the settings for the newsletter, if you check off the box for automatically assigning automatically captured leads to the e-newsletter, they'll start receiving your next monthly e-newsletter as well. So a lot of automation in capturing those leads. Don't feel like you have to enter them all one by one, and then assign them to campaigns and do this and do that. The system will do it for you. And of course, their business pipeline status is going to default to new unqualified lead. So they're going to start showing up in your Keep in Touch coach right away. They've got that immediate reminder set in the Keep in Touch coach for your business pipeline. So again, just making it easy for you to convert more leads, convert them faster, because the system is helping you to systematize some of that follow-up, some of that initial communication with those new contacts. The system also includes, of course, like all good email marketing platforms, detailed email campaign reporting, and you can use this to find leads hiding in your own database. And it's kind of a fun task to actually use the email campaign reporting to benefit your follow-up. So if you were to look at, maybe this is a just listed flyer and it has a call to action, click here for virtual tour, right, to learn more, whatever you want to call it. So if you look at the details, the unique opens for that email, you can see a list of exactly who opened your email and how many times. And you can even go a step further and see a list of, and there's unfortunately no hyperlink in this demo list, or demo email rather, but you would see a list of exactly who clicked through to learn more about that property, to watch the virtual tour. So it's a great way to see who's interacting with your marketing, but you can also use it as a tool to help you target your follow-up. So think of it this way: if you sent that just listed email to 50 people and 20 people opened it, that's a really good open rate, and 6 clicked to watch the virtual tour, who should you call first? I know you wanted to call all 50, but realistically, we've only got so much time. We've only got so much willpower to make that many outbound calls to people that may or may not want to talk to us. But do you think you could call those 6 people about your hot new listing? And it doesn't have to be a, hey, Janet, I saw that you watched the virtual tour and you might be interested in 123 Humber Street. And Janet's going to go, well, you're spying on me. That's weird, and I don't want to talk to you anymore. No. It's calling Janet and saying, hey, Janet, I know that you and Steve were looking for something in the Humber Avenue area. I had a listing come up this week. Sent it an email, not sure if you saw it or not. And she's going to interrupt you long before you even get that far and say, oh my God, I saw it. And remind me, what were the number of bedrooms and when can we see it? You're already generating that conversation. So you're interacting and following up actively on the leads you already know are looking actively at your marketing. So a great way that email campaign reporting can just help you to target that section of your database and find leads that are hiding, perhaps. The other thing that will help you, and this is a great way, fall's a great time because you should be setting up goals. You want to be able to hold yourself accountable to those, especially with sort of this ever-changing market in 2020. Being able to set a goal for yourself and then track your activity towards it is very valuable in keeping you on track and keeping you focused in what is actually driving your business and making sure that the activities that you're doing are driving your business. The goal setting function in IXACT allows you to set up, and it asks you a series of questions. What do you want to make this year? What's your average commission? And it breaks it down in a couple of other questions. And it breaks it down into how many listings are you going to have to get? And how many presentations do you have to get 5 listings, right? And it bases it all on sort of numbers and ratios that you give the system. Simple questions that you should be able to answer. If you're newer to the business and you're not sure, talk to your broker, talk to your coach if you have one, and they'll be able to help you with some of the numbers that correspond to these. And then, of course, you also want to be able to track your prospecting. And of course, the prospecting activity is ultimately what's going to get you to these numbers and ultimately to this number. So we want to be able to track, how many new contacts am I going to add? How many referrals? How many phone calls and so on? When you're starting with this, because we're so late in the year now, we're already in, end of August, you can actually set up your goal setting to start from the day you're starting with the system. And that way you're not trying to, you're not sort of looking at goals that corresponded to the entire year. You're just looking at goals that correspond to the rest of this calendar year. So making it a nice way for you to track your progress towards your, towards where you're, track your activity towards the goals and towards, what your achievements are, and maybe where you need to do a little bit more, maybe where you can sort of relax a little bit because things are working. Just a great visual way. And what the system does is as you log activity, so as I log prospecting updates, right, here on my Keep in Touch coach or right from a contact record, the system shows you, here's your prospecting activity towards your goals. Now, demo database, not accurate numbers. Yours is going to look much nicer than this, but it shows you, here's what your goal was for the week. Here's, going to make 100 phone calls over, 5 days. That's not that hard. 6 or 7 days for most of you. You'll be able to log your activity and see your progress towards those goals. And it all tracks then down into, as you log, your active business, your listings, your buyers, and that value. So showing exactly where you're at year to date towards that commission value. And again, that year to date can be started from whenever you get started with the CRM. So, setting up those goals, if I go back to that, tools of top performers, part of it is, setting those achievement goals for yourself, being able to see it visually for most of us, gives you that sort of incentive to go, ooh, yeah, that's where I need to do more, or, hey, that looks awesome and I'm feeling pretty good about it. You have that visual tracking, and that accountability can really help you take on more, right? If you had a goal to do X number of listings and, you're realizing that, oh, hey, like I have to do, twice as many presentations, then you're able to track that and see where you're at towards that activity. Or, hey, maybe your conversion on presentations, to actually obtain the listing is even higher than you thought, right? So you're seeing much more visually, and no more being, we did a sales training program recently and the trainer referred to it as being a captain wing it. So this helps you not be a captain wing it, to set some accountability in place, to have sort of strategic goals that you're working towards. And of course, all the functions we've talked about throughout today's webinar are going to help set you up for, as you're logging the activity, right, that it's automatically going to be tracking towards those goals that you've set up for yourself. Ultimately, you want to be organized and staying in control of your business. I'm not going to get into detail of active business today. The active business area of the system, we could actually spend like a whole hour webinar just looking at this. Essentially, where we looked at Andrew Adams previously, and there's that properties tab, you can turn any of these properties into a listing. And then once the property has been turned into a listing, it lands in your active business. And from active business, you have the ability to keep track of related parties. So that would be, things like home stagers and photographers and mortgage agents and inspectors and so on. You have the ability to keep track of all the key property dates and have reminders for those key dates in your calendar. You can also even assign yourself an activity plan, and this would literally be a to-do list of everything you need to do from the time you get this new listing. And we've created these campaigns for you. They live in activity plans. Just like the marketing material, the task plans are customizable. So you can edit and tweak and customize these as much or as little as you need to make sure it matches your business process. But don't skip anything, right? Even if it seems so small, enter it in the MLS. Yeah, right? Put it in here. It feels good to check stuff off on a list. And so when you assign this plan, now it's going to have all the dates in the past because our listing date is old, but when you assign this plan, it's a to-do list for all the things that have to be done for this property. As you check them off, maybe you check off 5 of them on the first day, but you have the ability to then see your pending versus completed tasks. They'll only be read if they're overdue. Ours is overdue because this is a demo database and the listing date is in the past, but I think you're getting the idea here is just creating some process and accountability. It also means that you don't forget to do anything. You don't get to 8 p.m. on Tuesday night and go, oh my God, I didn't do X, right? because it's in front of you and the system is reminding you and making it easier for you to stay on track. And if we're being reminded and we're systematizing this day-to-day process, we then have more time to talk to people, right? We have more time to build relationships and establish new ones, and do showings, whether it's virtually or in person, depending on where where your local community is at in the current situation. But systematizing these day-to-day activities is going to help you long term with just, again, being more organized. Most of us, need a little help in that respect. Most of us as salespeople, as people are not always administrative. So having a system in place that can help you stay organized and in control of your business will just set you up to be able to take on more. Imagine just having a list of, hey, here's the 7 things I have to do today, and then bang, 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 I'm done. And now I can move on to establishing new relationships, to building new business. Could you take on one more listing? Do you think you'd be able to do one more presentation? Maybe you could do 2 more. And that's really the idea we're trying to get to here, is setting you up to succeed, and setting you up, to excel in a busy market, whether it's the current market, whether it's the market 6 months or a year from now. Being able to be organized and in control of what's going on in your business will ultimately allow you to be able to take on more, which of course then ultimately allows you to achieve more and make more. I do want to mention there is a mobile app. IXACT Contact does have a mobile app. You just download it from the App Store. When you're on the road, a lot of us are out and about. You do have the ability to access all of your contacts, all of their history, to access their contact information, make phone calls, log notes, and do all of that right from the mobile app while you're on the road. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that. I can't. Not easy to demo on the computer. I do want to just spend a couple minutes talking about websites, and the mobile responsive agent website is like a gift with purchase. It comes with your CRM. It's included. It's initially a non-IDX website. You can add IDX, that's the searchable listings from your board, if you want to have that visible. And just going to pop into a demo here. So these are the new themes. We just launched these in March earlier this year. And the website comes with 16 new pages. You can activate your website at any time, so don't feel like you have to activate it now. If CRM is the most important thing to you, CRM is what's going to get you organized and help you achieve more business right now. You can always, change your website later or add the website later. The websites come with 16 pages, pre-written for you, ready to go out of the box. You can customize any of the page content. You can upload, of course, your own images or choose from the library of images. It could be a scrolling carousel of images or just a single static image. You're, of course, going to want to customize the about page, perhaps the communities page, note what the local communities are. And then you can add the MLS search. There is an additional cost for the MLS search. If you're interested in doing the website and want to know more about the IDX packages, I don't have time to talk in detail about IDX today, but there are 2 different packages, a basic one and an advanced, different search functionality and capabilities depending on what you're looking for. Call our sales team and they'd be happy to discuss that in more detail with you. Just want to highlight sort of some of the more customized sites. You've got, this nice branding, their own custom banner image, this little team that has their nice banner image and branding that matches their colors, and even one that's been set up more as a brokerage brand for this nice little boutique brokerage. So all kinds of ways that the website can be used, but again, CRM really is at the core of getting you organized and helping you stay on top of things so that you're set up for, just to achieve more, can take on more because you're more organized in your business. And the last thing I'm going to talk about just feature-wise is our social media marketing platform. And similar to the website, you can turn this on at any time. Social Stream does have its own 30-day free trial, and then has a cost of $20 a month at the end of that free trial. What Social Stream does is it posts content automatically on your Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn pages. So those three social sites. It's not compatible with Instagram. Instagram, A, doesn't love automated posting, and B, doesn't have the ability to click on the article to read it. So Instagram is really meant for images, not for a click through that directs somewhere else. So I'll show you what I mean about that in a second. What you do when you set up Social Stream is you choose how often you want to post. You can post up to 3 times a day completely automatically. So 7 a.m., 1 p.m., and 6 p.m. have been researched to show, that's when people are most actively looking at their social media, sort of before they leave for work, lunchtime, and when they get home in the evening. So you have the ability to choose how frequently. You can do all 21 times a week if you want to. Fully automated, or pull back the automation if you want to be able to review the posting before it hits your social media. That will allow you to add a comment as well if you want to. And then you choose which publications should you include or exclude. I know a lot of our Canadian our Canadian customers will turn off things like the US-based news sources simply because they're most likely to have some kind of market information or data that just isn't relevant. Similarly, you may want to turn off the Toronto Star and Globe and Mail, those more local Ontario Canadian publications for our US customers. You choose which topics to include or exclude. So you can see the red ones here are excluded, and the system does the rest. So you've chosen when you want to post, you've chosen the type of content, and the system will post that automatically to your page. I've got our friend Kathy here, who's using Social Stream. This is what an article would look like. She's got a couple here showing on her Facebook page. When I click through on the article, it takes me to a landing page with a pop-up that asks for my email address. So there's a lead capture aspect to it here. It does have a no thanks button. It's not forced. You can choose if it is forced or if it's optional. You can turn off the lead capture if you just want the content. But again, you're losing that layer of potentially getting email addresses from your social media contacts, which can be so difficult to do. LinkedIn is a little more transparent with people's contact information because it's more of a business communication platform. But Facebook, unless someone gives it to you, it's virtually impossible to get their direct contact information. So, you want to be able to at least ask the person for their contact information. And once they've given it to you, the pop-up won't happen again. It does track, who's given you their information. And then they can continue reading the article and your contact information is directly beside it. If it's an article like this where the, sort of the intro of the article and then they're directed to click to read the rest of the article, they're still going to go to the publication, but you'll notice it's opened a new tab every time. So, if this is on someone's phone, which is where most people are looking at their social media, they're going to hit the back button to get out of there. And they're going to go, no, I don't want to be on the landing page. And they're going to click the back button. And they're going to end up back right where they were within their timeline or back on your Facebook page, wherever they started from. So they're never completely navigating away. You're keeping them in your little, on your social media online sphere. So a great tool if you're looking for social media content. Content can be so challenging. There's the whole, I've got to find content or I've got to write content. I remember to post the content. This looks after that piece for you. Obviously, should be posting listings and things as well, but that in between sort of general interest content can be what engages people with your page, and just like the newsletter, engages them with topics that position you as an expert in all things owning a home. So it's a great service. Encourage you, if you're looking for social media posting information, if you're having challenges in that area, I encourage you to give the social media posting a try. Ultimately, and we're, our topic today is about, making sure that you're, set up to really crush your targets and goals this fall, and longer term, the system is going to help you get more referrals and repeat business. Your past clients won't forget your name, right? And I wish I was in a room and I could say, show of hands, that that you've lost business because you simply didn't follow up with a past client often enough or at all. And then you find out like 7 years later, you drive by and you're like, wait a minute, I helped them buy that house. Why is it for sale with somebody else? Right? That's the most frustrating feeling, losing something to your competition, your client, right? You can't be mad at anybody but yourself. It's not their fault if they forgot your name. Most people forget your name because you weren't keeping in touch. And ultimately, longer term than just this busy fall market, we want you to be able to get more referrals, get more repeat business, keep people within your sphere so that you're generating a stronger overall business, continually building your database, not just with leads from your advertising, but also from within your own network. So ultimately, that's what we want to help you do. We want to make sure that you're on that path called success. Studies have shown agents who systematize their business with real estate CRM do see more success. Again, you're more organized. You can take on more, and that will ultimately benefit you long term, even into retirement. The bonus of that is if your business is organized and you've got a strong book of clients, you can be just like so many do. Seeing this more and more in real estate, it's very common in financial sector, very common in legal, that people will someone who's retiring will sell their book of business, right? You have these great leads you've nurtured, you have these great clients, you can pass those along to someone else, which of course benefits you longer term. But you can't do it unless your business is organized in a way that you can then place that kind of value on it. So that's kind of a little bonus tip. Ultimately, right now, we just want to get you organized, systematize your business so that you do see more success. Again, not just in this busy coming fall market, but longer term over time. And we will help you do it. You're not alone. You're not just going to sign up for something and then have to figure out how to use it. We have what we call a concierge setup service, and then you have unlimited ongoing support. So it's all included with your account. The concierge setup service is a one-on-one call with a member of our team, and they will walk you through setting up all of the great features we talked about today so that the system is truly set up and working for you long before you get to the end of your free trial. There's also a ton of learning resources that we include. So there's a webinar every day. I'm actually sort of overlapping with our webinar today at 1 p.m. Eastern. There's a quick start webinar that walks through the setup of your account. So it's like a pre-recorded version, a webinar-based version of the concierge setup call. So if you're more of a video watcher, you can do that. There's a setup wizard that walks you through step by step. There's tutorial videos, and the tutorial videos are nice little short videos. They're not an hour or hours of training. You can watch a short little video, perhaps if you're just looking for how do I customize my e-newsletter again, and you can just watch a short little quick video on the steps to do that. So all kinds of different learning resources. Support offers unlimited support. They're in the office 9 till 8 Eastern. So even if you're West Coast, lots of support hours. You can talk to them via chat, via phone, and email. You're always getting a live person. And I want to get into our special offer. I realize I'm a little over time, but I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. If you're looking at the CRM and all the different pieces included, CRM, monthly e-newsletter that's done for you, a marketing platform that can send that out for you, and a website, you're looking probably in the 90 to 230 a month. I'd say that's actually probably conservative, especially if you're including the website. And with IXACT Contact, it's just $39 a month. You can save an additional 15% if you do annual billing. So huge value in an all-in-one package. And we do, of course, have a special offer for you today. It's an extended 60-day free trial. Normally our free trial is 5 weeks, so just over a month. And the billing, of course, as I mentioned, is just $33 a month billed annually, or $39 month to month. You do have those options. There's no contracts ever. And you can sign up now at IXACTcontact.com. We'll keep that extended free trial open for a few days for you, probably through the end of the month, and then it'll be gone. But again, if you're looking at getting started with a CRM, it's a great time to do it. It's a great time to get yourself organized. If you've got sort of just even a couple minutes, few minutes each day, just to get things into a new system, get things organized for you before that busy market in the rest of the year kicks off, then it's a great opportunity to do that. And I can't forget, we do offer a special offer for rookie agents. So I mentioned a couple times throughout the presentation, if you're a new agent, if you've been in the business less than a year, your first 6 months are free, because we want you to be able to take advantage of the system, get it set up, establish business best practices so that you're set up long term to achieve more success. Right? We know sort of what the churn rate is, and we don't want you to leave the industry. We want you to stay and be organized and be successful. And setting yourself up with key business tools will help you do that. If you do have questions for our sales team before getting started, phone number and email here at the bottom of the screen. The info at IXACTcontact.com is, of course, the fastest email to reach us, or simply phone in. There's an entire team standing by to answer your questions. And I'm going to wrap. I appreciate everybody's attention throughout the entire presentation. I know few people have dropped off at the end of the hour. I'm sure they had other things to get to, but I do appreciate those of you who have hung around and would love your feedback. We do have a little survey that will pop up as the webinar ends, and would love to get your input on today's session. If you had any questions about the system that that the guys weren't able to get to in the Q&A, I see they've been pretty active in there. But if there's something we missed, we will follow up with you. We'll look at anything we missed answering before, especially if it was IDX or any questions about specific features of the system. We'd be happy to reach out to you and get to you quickly. So again, contact information, if you're looking for it, is the 866-665-0018. Give us a call, and I look forward to chatting with each of you. Have a great day, everyone.